Good evening and welcome to episode 11 of Get It Forward. And tonight we've got our first
overseas player.
First overseas signing, Mr. Brett Agnew.
Welcome. Alright, well done gents, alright?
Welcome, my mate. Top man, great to have you on. Great to have you on.
So with this, Brett, obviously you've seen a couple now yourself, and take us right back. The love for football.
Upbringing side. Let's hear about your junior football days and where it all started for you, mate.
Obviously I had two older brothers who were into football and watched them since I was obviously young. Got a love for it. Everywhere we went, football. And we had out there, so I brought up in a little village called Hollytown, which is just outside Motherwell. And out the front, like I lived in like a little cul-de-sac, and one of the neighbours had one of them fences, you know, when you open it inway, but then it's still at the back. It was
That's your net.
That was it.
Yeah.
As soon as he went out in his car, fence gets in, right in goes, boom, in the car park, and then you were fuming when somebody came up with their car park. And then the next door neighbour, you're bouncing off his wall, and he used to come out, oi, stop doing that, because when you must have been some noise like bouncing off it, but it just didn't deter us. Then when they moved us away from there, you'd go away to the trees, so you'd just get like a big plank of wood and just hammer it into the tree, and then you'd have two trees, and it was just about, it was class.
Like 20 foot long, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we played in some weird places, didn't we, when we were younger? I mean, we had a playing field, a proper football pitch.
Yeah.
No, we played on a scrap of land or side of a main road because we could make a net out of some old gas pipes. Yeah, some plastic pipes, like Ancon pipes, and we made a proper net out of it and played on this bit of grass. So I
know they coming from orange net that they do on the roadside. It used to be like that.
We were saying we played New Road Club, it's only 2 miles that way. One net were 2 parking spaces, other one were like a little office thing, acoustic isolations, and it was just basically the same width wide. So they were 2 nets. Yeah. And we were saying, when somebody came at 7:15 for the first pint in the club, off you go, lads.
Yeah.
No. Game over.
Play around a couple of cars.
Yeah, that's it. You'd be fuming.
Crossing and finishing it.
And then it'd get pitch black and you still be, you don't even know what's happening. My mum would be shouting in that. So we had a really good, where I was brought up, you had it was one of them, they don't do it anymore, kids and that.
No.
You go into anybody's house, you go into anybody's house.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
No, if you'd done that, you could probably take away, but now you go into anybody's house and then you'd have tea there or something like that, and then you go out and you just play, people would just, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah. And it's so just full street full, it was class, and then, so that's how,
Did you look back on them times fondly, Brett, like, you know, that upbringing and that, just, probably not getting a care, just playing with your mates and playing footy with your mates and stuff like that.
We all do, innit? That's why we're old men now.
Yeah.
Reminiscing.
And we all look, back in the days. But when you try and explain it to people nowadays, they don't get it. They don't get it.
They don't. No.
And that you had to give your friend a shimmy up to get over the fence to fetch the ball back.
Yeah.
So now they all play on AstroTurfs and 5-side pitches.
And then big electric boxes, you know, the big massive electric. Like spikes coming out, like balls in there, like right.
Who's going to get that?
Ball used to go under a moving car and used to think, don't pop.
Honest, it was mad. It was just, it was brilliant. And then, because we had such a good close knit, like a state, as you'd call it, or whatever. Everybody, honest, we used to go down the 70s, which so my house was right at the top. There was like a big hill, and then down there was an actual like 7-a-side pitch.
Okay.
It was all sort of like had big hills round about it. You could have made it in a decent stadium to be fair, but it was a big hills, and then a tree right in the middle, so you had to play around the tree. And it was brilliant, honest.
Little 1-2 off tree.
Honestly, that was what it was like, and then a big fence that would separate it. And you used to phone your mates up, let's go to the 70s. So obviously, me and a couple of other mates were the young ones. Then my brothers, so 2 brothers, my brother's like 4 years older, and then the other one's 6 years older. Okay. So they used to all come down. So like, by the time then, I mean, they're like nearly grown men. Yeah. And we were all young lads, and we were all playing together. Yeah. And they wouldn't hold back. No. Absolutely. So it was good. It was good, and that's how I think
I think that sets you in great standard. You know, when you're playing against all the lads, just like I said, it feels strong and robust.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we've all done it as well. Like, I'll play with a couple of lads that were 2 or 3 years and they'd smash you and you'd think, well, it's bad that, like, and then you give one back and it prepared you, didn't it, for like playing
against you.
And that's effectively what you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes you know you get a bit leery and that, and then next thing you know you're absolutely about 10 feet in the air and you think.
What about clubs wise then in Scotland? Where did you sign? Were you a junior side up there? Or?
So I started off at a local team called Hollytown Colts, and there was a guy who was like really well known, Pat McCready, who took teams from right up. He's well funded, obviously he's passed away now, but he was a really good kind of ambassador for all the football around about Hollytown Colts. It was like a local team, and we had some really good sides. Then it kind of split away, and you had like 2 kind of teams. You had like Hollytown Colts, and then you had like a Woodhall Thistle kind of thing. But if they kind of amalgamated, there'd have been some team. They'd have won quite a lot, but usually politics, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I moved from them to a team called Wishaw, which is local. Just again, you follow your mates, don't you?
Is that what it were?
Yeah, pretty much.
Were a better side or?
They weren't really a better side. It was just you half time you follow your mates.
Yeah.
When you're young, anyway.
Yeah, you do.
Then I was maybe like 14, 15, and then done all right, and I went to as a YT at St Johnston, but it never really worked out because my mum never had a car at the time.
Okay.
And it was trying to get buses, trains. Then it was like.
What's distance wise?
I would say what can you
So what happened is with St Johnstone, obviously St Johnstone's like Perth, so you'd be like 2 and a bit hours. But what they done is because there were a lot of players and stuff like that were round about, they ended up setting up a thing at Maryhill, which was in Glasgow.
Okay.
So you'd go in there and train. And they would obviously send people down and watch the training sessions and blah blah blah. So it was me and my mate, and we ended up just like getting in there and stuff like that. And then it just got too much.
Yeah.
It just got too much, and I was just like, I'm one of them people. As I always, my mum was struggling with. She was having to pay extra money for fuel, and my papa and that. My papa was like 60 odd, and that. He was having to go there, wait for 2 hours, and a load of shit. So we left them, and I went to Albion Rovers, which is like a shit team in Scotland, and I loved it there. I loved it there, and what had happened is we ended up playing in the reserves. So we were only, I think I was only 15, but me and then the other lad was just a year older than me, and we ended up playing in the reserves. But what was going to happen is they were coming down to see a few players, and they were going to promote in the first team to try to stop the trials and stuff.
What sort of level would they have been at then? Equivalent to like, if you think about English format, what would they have been?
Well, if you worked out in English format, you'd be looking at League 2.
Okay.
So it was like they were in like the second division.
Right, it's got a second division.
Yeah,
wow.
so it's like
Okay.
that plant pot's probably better. so effectively that's what it was. But then what had happened was we got caught, me and him, and we were going to go and train them and stuff. And then the next week they went in liquidation, so they had to scrap all the youth and all that, and get rid of the players and stuff like that. So then I went away, and a friend got me a trial with Celtic. So I went to this training centre. Bearing in mind, you've got, so in Scotland they don't all have academies like England.
No.
You know what I mean? When you go in, in Scotland, so when you go and play trial for like St Johnston or Motherwell or Dundee United, it's predominantly Scottish players from all over Scotland.
Yeah.
Obviously Celtic Rangers are different. So I went to this session and that. So I was supposed to go on the Wednesday. So I walked in, and me and my big brothers, we used to carry on all the time, right? So what we used to do, we had a pellet gun, right? So we used to go and get pellet guns. So my brother used to wet bread and put it in the thing and shoot you with it, right? So it wouldn't like, obviously like a pellet would pierce your skin, but it would sting, right? Yeah. So this time he had like a chewing gum, and he put it in the wee hole bit. Yeah. And I've come out getting ready and that to go, obviously buzzing. Came out of the toilet.
Have they come to watch your trial like? Or?
No, so this is me booked in to go. So on the Wednesday night, I've come home for...
Not even got there.
Yeah, come home from school and all that, getting all sorted.
Happy, excited, yeah, we were selling to you.
Came out the bathroom, boom, shot me right in the toe, man. Absolutely ruined the toe. So I haven't kicked off, we're off in a fight and stuff like that, right? So I'm like, my toe was agony. Yeah. So I think I kind of missed the trial and stuff. So it goes way into the trial and stuff. So it's enough to play. No, like I can't play it. So get turns up, gets right on you go in there, Brett. No worries, that's fine. This is so and so. This is so and so. Right, I'm not kidding on. There was kids flicking balls over my head. They were like from Spain, Bulgaria, Italy. Right, this kid's flicking things over my head, and I'm like, I'm not meant to be. I am not meant to be here.
What year would that have been then?
That would have been when I was just turning 16, so...
Who would have been first team already there then at the time, can you remember?
Oh, you'd have been looking at, like, maybe like...
20 years ago, something
Wim
like that.
Jansen or something like that.
Oh.
Wim Jansen or... Yeah, Wim Jansen probably.
Well,
Maybe Martin O'Neill maybe.
So like, what, you know, obviously from this Albion Rovers liquidation thing where obviously you and your mate are thinking we might get a chance here with first team and this and that over, and then you get this trial. What family like with that? You know,
Obviously,
yeah, you know,
obviously,
Celtic, yeah.
In the back of my mind, I was just thinking, like, I wasn't really enjoying football.
Weren't you?
No, I wasn't, to be honest. I didn't have any enjoyment at the time because, you know yourself, if you get past it, you might be not good enough for there, you're not good enough for there.
You start getting a bit frustrated with it? Or?
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. You get frustrated with it.
Yeah, of course you do.
I didn't drink in that. I wasn't like most of my other mates who were out. I mean, they were on all sorts, weren't they, and drinking and whatever, and I wasn't doing that. My first drink I had was just short of 18 or whatever. Yeah. So, like, proper drink. Yeah. So
single malt.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I'm Brew Dasher. And so, yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. Like, I enjoyed it, but I never had my full focus. And to be honest with you, people say, I could have done this and I could have done that. That was an eye-opener for me because I wasn't good enough.
Levels.
And that's it. Simple as, not good enough. And I wasn't good enough to be a pro. Simple as. And that ticked loads of boxes for me because I thought that the problem is when you need to get to that level is you need the dedication. You need to be missing fucking all sorts of what you're doing, mates. You need to be, your mates going, oh, you're a wanker and all that because you're not coming out with. You need to take that in the chin. You need to do that. You can't do it. You need that dedication, and that's the difference between elite people and whatever. You know what I mean?
It is.
So,
especially at a big club,
100%.
When you're in there, like you said, they'll have had the pick of what Europe's top clubs are releasing.
Oh, 100%, 100%. You're only fighting with one, I suppose, aren't you? There, you're fighting with Glasgow Rangers, aren't you? In terms of your people's signatures and whatnot. It's funny, like Brett was saying about, obviously, your sort of lower teams, you sort of tend to pick out your best Scottish players and stuff like that to bring in. So, you know Zef Thomas, who's manager at Derby, went up to Cowden Beef.
Did he?
Yeah, he were at Cowden Beef for a year. And I think, like, he was saying then that it were just all Scottish lads. There were no, like, Europeans or internationals or anything like that. It were all Scottish lads all in one sort of thing mentality.
That's what predominantly it is. Half of them got my weird accents because half of them I feel like top of Scotland, it's half Norwegian and Aberdeen. Weird accents.
Off the islands.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? So, don't get me wrong, eye-opener, and I thought, I was falling out of love with it, but it's given me an eye-opener now to go and do it in the non-league game.
Yeah.
And luckily, I was just playing my brother's team, and to be fair, it was a mad one because the night before I'd been out, and then they said, "Oh, can you come and play for us?" So I came and played. First half, mate, I was being a dickhead, like trying to do things and that. I was half steaming still, and my brother at half time grabbed me with the throat, and he was bouncing me about. You've got so much potential, you fucking wee dickhead. You had me right going, like properly.
Like brothers do.
Yeah.
Just read out the air rifle though.
Just ready to go.
Slice of bread.
And that's what it was. It's like, so he done that, and then I went out in the second half, and obviously I scored two and changed the game a little bit. And a guy was watching from they're called West Calder. It's might not know all these names, but West Calder, and
they'll be getting tagged in it, Brett. That's a certainty.
His name Richie Hastings, and I swear to God, he's the best thing that happened for me at that time. Right hard character, like knows like that, right hard, like proper hard, and he was so nice. Yeah. And he just came over after the game. He said, "Oh, would you mind coming training?" And they're like effectively what we are, best level in Scotland. And I went up to the training session. I was the only Glaswegian out of them all because they're all from Edinburgh and they hate each other. So every game I was getting smashed. Like people were like, "Oh, that we do," blah blah blah.
You've talked quite a lot about your older brothers.
Yeah.
So more like mates.
Yeah, 100%. So close. Yeah.
But definitely a bit of praise to them for like saying, I'm assuming there's mate, come on, young man. You've got something here like going, you know.
They're my biggest fans.
Biggest fans.
100%. They're always been my biggest fans. Well, my dad left my mum just when I was young, when 3 weeks before I was born. Yeah. Still in my life and that. Yeah. He left my mum, and then obviously my older brothers do.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he's turned into a bit of a fruitcake because of that. But he tries to control quite a lot, but he does it in the right manner. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's always there for you, fighting. He's my biggest fan. He's got him and my other brother Jody and Keir, both.
It's great because there's always someone in there, and like it's either a dad or a mate or someone that always pushes you back. I just got a sense where you were talking that your brothers were big instigators in.
100%, and they're always there. And to be fair,
there were a reason they were kicking him at the sevens. That's the excuse to push him to now.
But even that, that one where I could have wasted that.
Oh, of course.
2 seasons there, I think it was. Yeah.
Good times.
Brilliant.
What sort of attendances were we talking there? A couple hundred?
Yeah, a couple hundred.
Yeah. So it's very similar to.
Great setup. Like pitch was too good for me. Like it was immaculate.
One of these like that is going to a tree.
Yeah. There's no 10-foot divot for my touches.
Yeah. Great grounding though.
Yeah, lovely, and it was good because obviously. If I never drove up, we drove up, you could just get the train, and there was a couple of train stops up as well, so it was ideal. And it was really good, really good.
Got your love back for it there.
100%, yeah. Don't get me wrong, again as usual, got a few sending offs that season, but partly because people nipping at you because you're the only Glaswegian in that league.
What teammates like with that?
They were just think I was a fruitcake, you know what I mean? You used to think he's off, he's not. Like just
loads of banter with them and stuff.
But first in for them all the time. Always first in for them. And they loved that, and I've still got a few people that I speak to from there, and a lot of the ground staff and that. And I think that's a big thing. If you go to any club, you need to be one that people remember, not just for the football, but remember for.
Got to be accepted by everybody.
And that's a massive thing.
It's an all-round thing, 100%. Are they all in Arts then? In Edinburgh, or is there anybody who's sneaking their way to Celtic Rangers? Is there a few?
You always get.
It's like someone from Sheffield supporting Man City, and that. So
they'll
get some of them, won't they?
Celtic Rangers buses and that leaving from the thing. Coming back that night, there's scraps. Usual carry on.
Yeah. Were you Celtic or?
I'm Celtic.
Celtic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm Celtic. So it's been a good few.
It has, absolutely. So we moved on from there then to
Rutherglen, Glencairn. So they're based in Glasgow, and it was actually a guy I worked with, and he put me on Alan. He's one of the mad goalies. He was off his nut.
We've all come across a few mad
goalies. Looked like Sam Dingle. Spit out Sam Dingle, And he worked for me, and then he just says to us, "Oh, you fancy coming to training one night and stuff like that?" And I said,
Were they a step up, or were they?
Well, effectively they're the same level, but it's a better league.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're some of this.
Yeah.
A bit like North East Counties is better than North
West. Yeah.
In my opinion.
That's it. Or like the
Don't forget we've got to go to North West.
like the Northern leagues are all the Northern Newcastle ones, they're always a kind of an in-between league, aren't they?
Yeah. I get where you're coming from, yeah. So it was same level, but you were going to test yourself a bit more in that way.
Pretty much. I was absolutely flying.
Flying.
I ended up breaking a 35-year scoring record.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us that more.
So I think it was for that league in games. I think it was league 38 goals or something like that. And that for that one. So it was almost unbelievable season I had, to be fair. Just a few, a couple of rockets as well.
Penalties?
No, I never took penalties. No.
Jesus.
No. Yeah, I never took penalties.
So 38 excluding that then. So
Yeah, I never took any penalties, and then we got to the semi-final of the Scottish Cup, which is equivalent to like the FA Baz, imagine, down here.
Did they do it similar in terms of what final have been at Hampden or Celtic Park?
It used to be at Hampden, but it was at Kilmarnock's.
Okay.
So Kilmarnock started doing it because I think half the Ayrshire teams were in it, so they thought, right,
okay.
But we played a team called Auchinleck, who were like the best of the best.
Yeah.
And we played them down there, and their fans are wild. Like,
are they?
Yeah, bonkers, like throwing pints and everything at you. Bonkers. It's
A bit like Brit.
Yeah, a bit like Brit, yeah. A bit volatile like them. We had like players running down the line, they were chucking cups of tea and that. I don't know, it was mental. But it was like pure.
Did they have decent support as well? Like,
They've got like nearly 1,000.
Oh,
a bit
okay.
like Hallam.
Yeah.
Or whoever like that. But they're mental. Like team buses and that come chucking all sorts of fast balls and that's half the women. So it's mental, it's bonkers. So we went in there and they were winning 1-0 and there was a minute to go and I dived for a penalty. I blatant dive and got it and we drew one each in there. So they're all having it, fucking man, do you? And I'm like, fucking you have to walk, man. And I was just like,
you're going to do, man.
Yeah. So then
The
the second leg was at Rutherglen and it was a big massive thing because I don't think Rutherglen got into the final, I think for about 30 odd years or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were winning 1-0 and I then got a free kick and I scored ahead at me. It was about 20 yards onside. And the linesman was like, lagged it, so everybody's kicked off. So they ended up beating us 1-0. But I think, again, you know yourself, a bit of politics. Because you're the best team in the other side, the East League, which is Linlithgow, we wanted two best teams with a big support, better final, blah, blah, blah. I left them because my mate phoned me up one time and he said he fancied setting up a business. And I went, go on then, what? He said roofing business. I went, the time I wanted on roofs was to get balls. I'm not in about roofs, man. I'm a van driver, just deliver parcels and all what's going on. So he was like, oh mate, you could earn like 100 grand a year. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it then. I love it. So I ended up went down to Bristol, set it all up, and that was again. So one day we were just driving by and seen green and white hoops playing in there. So I'm like, oh, here we go.
Let's
go over there. Yeah. So he pulls in and it's they're called Almondsbury. It's like region or whatever. It's like a you call them university thing.
Yeah.
So he pulls in, me and my mate. So Razza's one of my mates, good mates. He used to play for Hearts.
Okay.
And he was class.
Right.
Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He played at the in the time when. Remember that Romanov guy? Is he Lithuanian or something? Yeah.
Is that
bonkers.
What manager?
Craig Levine.
Yeah.
Because Razza had a set too with Craig Levine, I think. Craig Levine
to be Scotland manager eventually.
But that Romanov, he was just doing what he wants.
Yeah.
A bit like Todd Bowley now. Man. Cuckoo.
Yeah.
So so me and him and Annie were sitting, so we pays in as you do, sitting behind and watching the game. Not bad, it's not like similar standard again, see what we're doing here. And then after the game, I said, I'm going to see when the training's on. So me and him goes over. You know who the manager was? Do you remember? I didn't really know him at first. David Hillier played for Arsenal.
Midfielder?
Yeah.
Played
Scotland, and then I think I was in Scotland for about 3 days. And then my mate said, oh, you fancy coming to a stag do? So my ex-missus at the time, she's like, oh, my dad's gave me his name on to go away to Cuba with my mum for 3 weeks, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do then? So then, you know what I mean, I was like, yeah, I'll take you up in that stag do. I went off the stag do. Next thing you know, came back and moved to Hull. So back came.
Where's the stag do?
Magaluf. So I ended up meeting my ex, the kid's mum, in Magaluf, and come back down to Hull.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just mad. Whirlwind.
And no link to all other than that?
No.
No job lined up or?
Nothing.
No, nothing.
Sold my half of the business to my mate. Done into Hull. Phoned my mum and dad when I was on the train. Because obviously,
I'm gone.
Yeah, because you know what it's like, if you see them there, they're like, oh, it's that waterworks and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I'll stay there. Yeah. So I just went, because in all honesty, when I got that snippet of what English way of life is, totally different. Like Scottish way of life is totally different. And I just seen more opportunities in England.
Yeah.
So moved out to Hull, staff obviously. As you do, you just chill out for a wee bit, got a wee bit of coin, you know what I mean? Chilled out for a little bit and then started looking at football teams and stuff like that. So my ex at the time, she had a friend called Brendan who ran like an amateur team, West Hill Amateurs. And unbeknownst to me, Brendan was Pete Smurthwaite's son.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how it came about. So went to this first session, and obviously it was like fucking in a local pitching, local bar. Yeah. And I was like, and I was just like, I shouldn't be here, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of them people that it doesn't matter what, I ain't somebody that thinks I'm better than what I am.
Yeah.
I ain't somebody that looks down on people. I just loved it. Yeah. Because it was my first introduction to Hull and people in Hull. And I've got so many friends for that team still. Yeah. And it was my nights out. First couple of nights out, and it was brilliant. I loved it. So I came over to his Brendan, and he was like, "You sure you want to join?" And I went, yeah, why would I not? And he's like, "Well, like, much better than what we are." And I was like, "Don't care, I'm not about that. I just want to join it."
Yeah. So, again, going back to that link, you move somewhere new, you just need that mate base, family base around you. Yeah.
And there's no start somewhere, aren't you?
Yeah, you got to start
somewhere, aren't you?
And there's no other way better to do that than football.
No.
100%. It's the only sport I think you can. Rugby and that's different. I mean, cricket and that, I don't know how you can get many, but football's a big one where you can get all that.
Yeah, mates wise, it all comes out of your football career, isn't it? Like, so what league were they been in then? Just
they were in a like 6th tier county league.
Right.
I think at one point, well, somebody said to me that at one point Hull had the biggest county leagues in Europe or something like that.
So
said like 20
reckon it was something similar to our county senior league or something like that, yeah.
Well, we say leagues like Skull Coast, Ormston, teams like that.
That's a Humber Premier League. No. This was like way below that. Yeah, so I fitted in well.
What this then? When it's still a Saturday league?
Yeah, Saturday league.
Back to Bowser for a few.
Yeah. On the fucking thing, ref, don't you think there's linesmen, to be honest?
No.
It was just ref, some old guy.
A couple of quid subs.
Yeah. literally, that's what it was. And then he says to me, "Don't worry about paying for the subs." I was like, yes, get it. So,
sorry, ref, we're 2 quid short.
But like, first game was decent. To be fair, played alright. I think played 11 games for them. I scored 48 goals or something like that. So it was like that's the standard. It was like 7 goals at time, half time. And then I got a phone call from Curtis Woodhouse, and he was like, obviously, blah blah blah. I don't know you from Adam, right? But I've seen you at this, and we've just taken over, me and Ian Ashby. To be honest, I didn't even know who Ian Ashby was, because United.
Well, that's where I first came across you.
Yeah.
At Hull, and I thought, some player.
Brute.
Honestly, and just throughout our changing rooms, like there were no but positives about him when he came to play us. I mean, he was one of them that didn't mind mixing it, class in air. Not many that beat me in air, and he did.
Yeah.
And it was just like, when I first came across him, I thought, you know, he's a beast, like. But, like we said earlier, utmost respect for each other.
Yeah.
Kick lumps out of each other. Probably not always shook hands at the end of a game, like.
No.
I thought you were phenomenal when I played you when you were with Hull.
I think you and Tom were just a really good, hard fucking pairing. I don't think I had many great games against you, to be honest. I had some decent ones, maybe scored a couple.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like ones that you'd think, you know, you've been outstanding today.
Yeah.
Because it was just tough.
Just tough.
But half the time I had you to fucking eye on the shoulder, and then some little guy's fucking about there, and I'm coming off for all sorts of you know what I mean, knackered. So, but yeah, Hull United was, I tell you what, that could have been special, you know. And then, but just good lads. And then second season we started getting good players on, like Matty Plummer, Nicky McNamara's, Tom Bennett, Gary Bradshaw's, players like that.
That's not bad front two, is it?
Yeah.
Keep you busy, won't it?
Bradshaw. See why.
He was a brilliant joke, like some player. Obviously, I didn't see him at his very best. You probably would have seen him at his
unfortunately.
I'm glad when he went to Cheltenham.
Yeah.
When he got his move. He was fucking outstanding.
Yeah.
Couldn't pick him up.
Yeah.
You just
stuck his little arse in you.
And if you were playing with a side that knew what to do when you had to game ball, they were hard to play against with anything else.
They did it right for me, didn't they?
Oh God.
Forth and Leon.
Yeah.
And stretch it that way, and then guys will just pick up things and come in and just go.
Yeah.
Like that, just top me.
Such a good left foot. He was really good. And to be fair, like I say, I only seen him maybe a couple of seasons in the back end there. But we ended up that season doing really well, went up flying and that. And then, don't get me wrong, we were getting paid well. I think I was on about 110 quid or something. And then Bradders must have been on about free mortgages. But I was on a car every month. And I was, Jimmy Wolf. And then Curtis always made me captain. I hated being captain.
Did you?
Yeah. I've always hated being captain at any club. Hate it. Fucking people get a captaincy and fucking turn into Patrick Vieira overnight. I just wanted to stick to my job as goals. Telling fucking somebody that's 10 times a player at me what to do. Like spare camps and folk like that. Horrible people.
See, you like even at our level, so like when I played against you, it was always a little bit like you just had to win battle sort of thing. And it whatever was
not really pretty.
There were strikers I played against where I'd have thought, you know, one slight hit, one elbow it back at neck, went up for an header, and sort of an easy day for me.
Yeah.
I never felt that with yourself, and others as well, but it was just like you sort of.
This fucker keeps.
It was pointless doing it early doors because you used to think, oh, I've got fucking 80 minutes left.
I've got crossed out.
Or I've got one coming back my way, like sort of thing. So it was just like,
me as a striker though, I loved that. You know that first one. See if you were first to give it to me, bang, either Achilles or back in the.
Smile about something happy days. Yeah, you've got where you want to, haven't you?
That's one I owe you. So if you can take it from me, then we're on to a game. See the ones now, and you just bang it in. Oh God. I can't be bothered with that shit.
What I wanted to ask you, Brett, is like because you were playing in Humber League, so there wasn't an awful lot of travel, I would imagine. And then club made decision they were applying for North East Councils, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I did that sit with lads at that time then, because obviously it's a fair older way trip a lot of time for you, isn't it, from all?
Yeah.
Really, like we're talking like Emily, Emsworth, Penistone. I mean, nowadays you'd be talking Pickering or whatever. It's a fair old. It's what group like with that? Did they just want to play as high as they could, or were you riding cresting a wave that you've got a good side? Curtis were in charge. Let's go and see where it takes us. Is that sort of mentality?
To be honest, Curtis was massive part of it because Curtis was a good speaker. He was good at building you up. He was very good at building you up, and he was good at getting a good group together and kind of selling you the dream as such, if you know what I mean, one for a better word. But he was good for, that's what he was good at, and that's why I always say he's one of my favourite managers, because even when you were at a stage where you were thinking, okay, I'm not scoring 3 or 4 games here, you know what I mean, you'd be like, you're there.
It's coming like, yeah.
Where's he at in life there? Is he back boxing, or is he...
He's coaching, he's got a couple of decent boxers.
At that time though, he probably was really still doing a bit at that time himself.
No,
he was
done, but then like the next year after that, then that's when he started, I think. He started trying to train and get back again. Because Curtis is none of the unlucky ones where he goes massive, doesn't he? So if he doesn't keep fit, he goes massive.
But I think I've seen where he puts on social media and things like that. He's honest with it.
100%.
He knows where he's at, and he knows.
That's one thing. He is. He's very honest, and some people don't like it, and some people like it as well, isn't it?
Did you win league that year, we all?
No, we didn't.
No,
we didn't. It was.
You were right up there, though, weren't you? Right up there.
Yeah, we were. To be fair, I think we were. I think for the 4th or something. We ended up.
But it would probably only been one up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think I can't remember who won it.
That's coming in as a rate difference.
I can't even remember who won it, to be honest. But I think that was
Ponty.
Oh yeah.
Pontefract?
It could have been
Ponty. Could have been Ponty that?
No, it wasn't. It was Cleethorpes.
Well, was it?
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was Cleethorpes. Yeah.
And look at where they are.
And they ended up getting to fucking Wembley, didn't they?
They did.
And I think that season was like, I think Ash Flynn scored about fucking 70 odd goals.
Is that the season?
Yeah, he was.
He
was. Because me and him were always, and then you'd be looking, you'd be like, fucking hell, he scored 3 now. What's going on? And it was like that. But quite good because we pushed each other all the time. I had my first lad as well, Dexter, so I had my first child and stuff like that. And then I was like, then when they said playing 17 games away or something, whatever it was, 15 games away, and it's bad enough travelling once, never mean every game.
That's what I mean,
So you were going to every game, and our staff had to be on the gates and all that.
Yeah.
Because it was
your home game.
Yeah. And it was just too much. And then
so every home game were effectively 80-90 miles.
Yeah. So what?
At least.
What happened was, there was a guy who worked there, dealt with all the money and shit like that, and we were playing away, and it was actually Warsborough we were playing it.
Yeah.
And they came in, there was young lads playing the team, some of the young lads, obviously big ones with the big wages and stuff. And they came in and they'd, we've only got 6 wage packets, boom, badders, plums, maca. And I was having the captain at the time, and I was like, oi, what the fuck's going on here? And then they were like, what? I said, they gave me a wage, give that to the young lads. No fucking, you can't go out and say you get 6 wages and give the fucking big ones to them. There's no chance.
No
way.
Split it, just give everybody the same for that one.
And I don't even know if Curtis that knew about it or whatever, but I was like, no. So
just didn't sit right.
Didn't sit right with me. And then that's when I kind of started wanting away for it all. Met him in the local pub and stuff like that, and I think I played my last game for Hull United against Yorkshire Amateurs away.
All have been decent at the time as well, Yorkshire Amateurs, they had a good side, didn't they?
Yeah, they were. And that was my last game, played for them, and then I went and signed for Bridlington.
And you signed as a player, didn't you?
Yeah, signed as a player for Bridlington. I'm still, I think I was only 28. No, I didn't mean 28, I mean 27, just turning 27.
And the manager at the time was?
Wayne's Gary Allison and Wayne Lewis. You know him? Yeah. So,
great bloke, Gary Allison.
Legend, really nice. Wayne Lewis, legend as well. Really, really nice guys. Got utmost respect for them. Two sound guys, and obviously at the time we had Ash, Gary's lad, Tom Fleming, Andy Norfolk.
Nathop was playing as well, was he?
No, he left. I think he was with Ferriby. Joe Sutton, remember Joe?
Yeah.
And
who were the left winger who were there ages? It'll come to me. Chris Adams.
Chris Adams. Yeah, fucking nutmegs and all that. Yeah, because he ended up scoring. I think he's later down the line he scored the goal. I think it knocked out a couple or something like that. Yeah, so that's how that came.
Did it feel like a real good, nice, fresh start for you? That, you know, because you were probably going from all this, I suppose, circus in end maybe, for a right word, in terms of upheaval, and then you've gone to Bridlington,
which
nice facility, nice ground, decent crowd.
Yeah.
300-400 week in, week out there. Did it feel like a fresh start for you? Did it feel like
it did.
a move you needed at the time of your career, or were you gutted how things had ended there?
Yeah, I think I was gutted because I actually, like I said, I enjoyed playing on the cutters. I enjoyed being his friend. Yeah. At the time, I'm still his friend now, but at the time, I enjoyed being his friend. Yeah. Enjoyed my time at the club. Felt like I was a bit not an ambassador, if you know what I mean. Like I felt like I was there when it first
captain.
Properly started, captain. Yeah. I always like bummed it up and I was whatever. So I felt like it. Yeah, felt a bit sour at the end. Yeah. But I ain't one for kind of holding that shit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you get on with it. Yeah. So yeah, just fresh start, like you say. Obviously, straight up there, decent pitch, as you say, well run club. Pete,
very well run. Yeah, I had a spell there obviously, and Pete running well. Yeah, good people involved. Pete Brandt and even same grounds was there from 20 odd years ago. That's it's like all into it, isn't it? Hendrick, 55-inch glove. Biggest hands in football. Jesus, the guy's an absolute unit. He's half Norwegian or something like that. He's Scandinavian, isn't he? He's, and then you got Mad Wayne, didn't he? With the fucking zebra, fucking whatever, pineapple shots and that.
They always used to have like a core group of fans on it. Yeah. Like watching away and home. And
I think that's
Warren
Spear, yeah. Really, like, love Rich Bishop, Paul Prime. Dom. Really, yeah, Dom.
And you say at this time you'd had your little lad as well, so were he coming to games or?
Yeah, well, the first game he came to was we got to the Senior Cup final, and we were playing Bridlington. It was for Hull United, and we played Bridlington, and he was only 10 days old or something.
Really?
And we got beaten that game. Bridlington too good for us at the end. But
KC Stadium.
Yeah, I scored first 10 minutes. I scored, so I thought it was going to be decent, and we just ran out of steam. The joke. Used to Friday night drink a full bottle of vodka and
Tom Fleming.
Yeah, and then just turn up and play. Strongest guy, strongest player I've ever.
What ward was there at that point as well? Like, they come a little bit later.
Tom and Will were there. Tom's a good player.
Yeah. This going back to not football arrogance, but when I was at Bridlington, we were in Unibond 1, as it were then. And Gary Allinson come in, Tim Ott as managers, and said, "Oh, fine, we've signed this Tom Fleming." And old Prem. So I'm thinking, yeah, fucking shite. And you just ran pre-season. Just, you were fittest kid I've ever come across.
Yeah.
Just like Granny.
Weird fit. Yeah, weird fit.
Yeah, didn't do anything.
No, yeah.
But then he just pissed bleed test on 12-minute run.
But not technically good.
No,
just like fucking strong, battering around. Just so you had me. Boom, you had him in behind, and then you Jenks, remember Jenks? Yeah. Just constant, like
smashing it.
So you had a really good core, and then hit you in goals, class. And then, but obviously me going into that, the couple, I think it was the season before, they had Hoggy. So
Craig
scored loads of goals.
Yeah.
So I'm going in there thinking, I need to do what I
some
need to do.
Yeah,
that's it. So as you do, but as a striker, most strikers, you got to have that, like you say, I'm not going to.
It's a challenge anyway, isn't it, Brett? It's like, I'll make sure that
I'll take that one.
100%.
So then that season was a brilliant season, and the start of the next season we played Grimsby Borough away in pre-season, and the ball came in, so I was holding somebody else off, and this kid came right in the side, man, smacked me right like that, you know that way, just right in. So my knee was coming like that, and I couldn't play on. It was fucking agony. So as you do, a couple of weeks still at that size, and I never ever bothered with it really. Just took a few painkillers and never crack on. The job.
So about Curtis came in, didn't it?
Yeah. Curtis got the job. So obviously, he phones up. Well, get the band back together. So, and then me and Curtis.
That were probably the best news for you.
It was, yeah.
At that time.
Yeah, because I just felt like it wasn't nothing personal between me, Wayne and Gary. And
You reckon you'd have moved on though?
I think so. I think I would have.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah,
Very
I think
close
I would have.
yeah.
And I think it was just, to be honest with you, it was. I think I just am a second lad then.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of, because
A lot of family stuff changed. Yeah.
Shaw Lane came in for us.
Did they?
Yeah, and they phoned me up and they were saying like, come during the week. We've got, I think it was that season where they had to play like 4 games a week or something like that. There was real backlog or something like that.
Going on what Mozza said the other week.
Yeah.
People Friday in brass, weren't it?
Yeah, it was mental. It was like 150 quid a game, and he's like, "Oh, we've got 28 signed on, 5 strikers," and I'm like, "You want another striker for them?" I was like, mental, but
yeah.
I had a couple mates that played there and stuff like that, and then Curtis came on, got going again. Obviously made me captain, which I was feeling about, but then got the love back for it again and started, because it is, like I say, it was a good club, good friendly club.
Yeah. Got to cup final that year, didn't you?
Got to the cup final, yeah.
League Cup final.
Yeah.
And
against Penniston.
Might have been.
yeah,
Say, or
we got fucking absolute hammered. And I mean, we never came off the bus.
No.
You know, funniest thing I always say, I ain't ashamed to say it, but I nearly scored on a red kick, didn't I?
You did. In fact, you had a great save.
Great save, yeah.
Rhodes had a right for staff.
Yeah.
It was.
He had a great for staff.
It was.
So he's saying he ain't come off post, but actually he must have pulled 3 or 4 worlds
Did.
off that for staff.
I mean, an overhead kick, like proper.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Wrong the overhead kick.
Pelly.
Yeah, like between
Yeah.
Gareth Bale and the middle. Like,
Yeah.
I was fuming.
Well,
And
that.
Bramall Lane, wasn't it?
Bramall Lane.
Yeah. It was, again, the first half, like you say, it was probably each beach, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Second half, battered us.
Yeah, a better side. I think it was Jake Gay that scored later on to make it 4-1, weren't it? But I think saying that like, but I just always felt like we were under pressure for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I thought first 20 minutes, I thought you were decent, and then I thought we scored on break, and then
was it Kieran Ryan?
no, it was Wits, Scott Whittington.
Was it?
Yeah. I got second,
Yeah,
and then Ringy and Danny Barlow scored. But
and you beat me for there, didn't you? So Mark. What had happened? Obviously, the next season, a couple of things got said here and there way in terms of players, me going trials and whatever. So Billy Heath in messaged me. He was at Ferriby, and he'd messaged and said fancy coming down for a trial. So I knew quite a few people there just through friends and stuff like that. So, and I went down, and obviously I'm there in the, I think they were in what they've been
conference hall for the imagine, won't they?
Possibly.
No, they've been
not conference.
No, conference. No.
Yeah.
No, but
Evo
I
Prem,
think
it's
it was
either
Evo.
Evo Prem
Yeah, I
or
think
conference
it's possibly the Evo. But. So I'm going down there, and you've got like obviously my fucking thing's Tom Denton. Fucking bigger than you, and he's brilliant in there. So Ryan Kendall scored loads of goals. Some other like Russ Fry. You've got Adam Boulder.
Well, Robbo still playing at the time, and Adam was in charge at minute. What's his name?
Robert Chris Boulder.
Yeah, Chris.
You had what's his name? Thing that's at Cleethorpes just now. Curtis Bates.
Curtis Bates.
Kingy was there. Yeah, he was the captain. He was the captain
Yeah.
time. Then centre halves and that. You need some big
Proper team.
team. Yeah.
Proper club, really.
So I went down. And
Did you go? Did you go for it?
I went for the trial. Yeah, I went down for the training session. I think I was at 2 or 3 training sessions, and then at the time it was at a place called South Hunsley. So you went in this little room, and Billy and Bobby were there and talking away.
I like Billy, though.
Yeah.
I don't like Bill.
And listen, he was not real honest with us. He just said how, because I think Tom Denton was out for about, 6 or 7 games or something I got suspended for, and I think Ryan Kendall was out for a month or 2 with injury.
Well, this mid-season then,
Yeah. So they basically said, so as always in football, and it's quiet as it gets out, and then cut us his phone and blah blah blah. I said, well, at the end of the day, I've got to try and prove myself and blah blah. So, but as a manager, you don't want to lose. You want to get better players. So
the skipper.
Yeah, that's it, innit? So it's tough, innit? 'Cause now I can see that from
Yeah, of
this
course.
side.
100%, yeah.
But obviously when you're a player, it's kicking selfish, which is fair enough. So I ended up talking to Billy and that, and like say, bear in mind I was at Hull, at Bridlington, I was on about what, 100 quid, or some 120 quid or whatever it was. And then, so I went there, and then Billy was basically saying, he said, like, you've been obviously one of the better strikers in the area and stuff like that, I want to come in and do while these lads are out injured, and then if these lads come back and stuff, we'll kind of loan you out. And I said, well, that's your offer, and I said, well, I'm just going to go back to Bridlington because I enjoy it there.
Yeah.
And they got to fucking Wembley that season, didn't they? Oh,
Brilliant.
fucking
Is that the trophy one? Is
yeah,
it? Is
they
it?
got to Wembley, and I was like,
God.
fucking what an idea, so I shut them out for a change.
Therapy, Wembley.
Yeah,
You missed out on that one.
I mean, when you talk about regrets.
Yeah.
Like you just mentioned, though, Bramall Lane, KC Stadium, great stadiums, but that's the one, innit?
Holy grail, isn't it? Holy
Everybody's
grail.
dream, innit? I think I had 2 dreams. If you could play at Wembley, that would have been unbelievable.
First round proper FA Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First round proper FA Cup would have been sensational. Especially with a good group of lads that we were in it for each other, but never got there. I think I got 4th qualifying round.
Just because you think you basically play 6 rounds to get there.
You
So
do.
you've won 6 games already to get, and it'd be so good, wouldn't it?
It would be. That'd be like getting to final, wouldn't it, for us in terms of our level. So.
Keep us managing now. It'd be amazing for you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you went back to Bridlington, you start on Wembley.
Yeah, went back to
Fish and
well,
chips-
it's
fish and
Wembley
chips
and
are
off,
better.
isn't it?
Fish and chips straight down south.
Yeah, I like playing for the Seagulls. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, the knee thing, well, it was hard because Jake Day was coming involved, and Jake at first was real raw. But Curtis, the good thing about Curtis was he could utilise me for exactly what he needed.
Yeah. For as
so
long as he needed.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think didn't really realise that the knee was what it was or whatever. So I would play 50, 60 minutes, smash a few people about, score a goal.
Were you uncomfortable with it though, Brett? Were you at your full potential when you were struggling with that, or were you struggling?
No, it was it was weird because it was niggling all the time.
Adrenaline getting you through games. And
Like at the side of your knee, like big things, fluid and stuff like that, and then your mobility wasn't really good.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he still Jake, like I say, Jake would come on, score a hat trick in 15 minutes and stuff, and four goals in 15 minutes. Like, kind of take it away for the kid. Really good.
For each other.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Without playing together, I know it sounds daft, but you've smashed them up for an hour. He comes on.
Yeah. And then in the back of the mind, he was like, well, I should be starting next game, and he had that little bit about him as well. You know, that bit where he was like, well, I should be starting. So then effectively you kind of, it was like the change in the guard.
Yeah.
And Robbo got the job.
Yeah.
So then I met Chris at the local pub, and then he was obviously at Scarborough and stuff, because Chris had tried to get me to Scarborough a few times as well, to be fair, and Bulls had tried to get me there, and I just turned it down because I'm always one that if you're happy where you are and you're playing your best, you should stay there.
Yeah.
Don't chase for something that might never happen, you know what I mean, or a coin or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, listen, some of the money that's floating about nowadays, it's brilliant for a kid.
Yeah, it's.
You don't blame them.
I've spoke about it, Anna, that when I was at Brig, biggest regret, going to Curzon, thinking that it's a bit better money-wise, a bit better ground, blah blah, but should just stay where we're at. Content, and we're a great group of lads.
Yeah.
But end of the day, you have to make mistakes to learn from.
Of course you do.
And
Of course you do.
That's why we're still here involved in it.
Yeah,
100%,
of course you do. And sometimes it's not about football.
No.
You know, it's about family situations, and if you don't know people's circumstances, so there could be people who really need that extra 50 quid.
Yeah. And my knee just wasn't feeling it. It just wasn't feeling right. And
Is it the draw of the green and white again?
probably, it was hoops. It was hoops at the time, and they fucked it now. They went on a different way, but it was hoops at the time. And obviously Jamie, big part in it, he phoned me up and said, listen, need a striker, and then I just thought, cause playing against like they were playing against like Altrincham, Kidderminster, Telford, FC United,
because even though they're coming down, it was still a class league that,
Salford, Brackley,
Chester probably.
No, I don't think Chester. I think Chester were league above. I think at the time. I think they got relegated.
When FC United in there.
FC United were in there. You had really like quality team.
Yeah,
Darlington, Charlie, Matt Jansen was the manager at the time. So I just thought, if I'm going to go out here, I'm going to go like a decent standard and that. Obviously, I fucking crap at the bottom of the league and that, but I went and I was played the first game. The first game I could actually play because I got fucking 7-game suspension because I'd already been sent off twice, didn't I? So you obviously accumulates it. So I ended up getting a 7-game suspension because I stuck heading that kid at Pontefract.
Okay.
So that was that, and then the first game I could actually play was Boxing Day. So I'm in Scotland, and they said, obviously in Scotland, I was like, right, I'm going to be starting, I think. So I've got up at fucking 6 in the morning, fucking snow like that in Scotland, no joke. Had to scoot me and Raza, scoot me hanging out. He drove us down, all the way down. He came down. I was fucking playing. So I was expected to start on the bench. I was like, you bastard. It was against York City.
I've just dug 5 foot of snow.
Yeah.
What time did you have to set off for that?
4.5 hour journey. So like set off at 6, I came down here and thought, if I'm getting down, I want to stretch my legs a bit, get some breakfast and that. Also went home.
Boxing Day as well, Greg's auntie.
Boxing Day, bench. So it was York City.
Decent crowd.
Parkin was up front.
John Parkin went here,
I swear to God, he scored the fucking best goal I've seen. Like, keeper's inged it out, he's touched it down, knocked it with his knee and fucking volleyed it for about 25 yards out. It was class for that game.
Did it?
I came on for the last 20 minutes. You had Adriano Moki fucking running about. You had Parkin bouncing folk. You had that little Scottish kid with black hair. Like, he shot black hair. It was like, the Scottish kid, he was really good. Left foot.
I know you mean, I can see his face, I can't think of his name.
He had a big centre half, Hamza Sharif.
Well, he's at Worksop now,
fucking hell, he was like,
he's a fucking unit.
So tough to get round. So I was just like, fucking hell. I wasn't even playing striker, I was playing fucking just behind the striker. So I had to mark fucking Adriano Moki, and then you had Carl Stewart up front. Oh, it was fucking carnage. It was like, it was.
What final score?
3-1 or 4-1, I think.
Right.
And then obviously straight after the game, boom, back up Scotland with the family.
Did you drive back?
Yeah. New Year's Day, played York City.
York City. Led it straight on.
Drove back down for Scotland.
Tell me on bench again.
No, I started there. I was in a 10 roll again. So in Carl Stewart up front, me there, and I fucking well out of my depth here. I think we actually played a little bit better, but I think the beat us like 2-1, 2-0 or something like that. So that was it. That was the start of it, and then I think Jamie spoke to Chris and stuff, and he's like, he's not a number 10. You need to be playing up front. So I think the first game he played me up front, he played Cholo away actually, and that was my first goal. Playing against, I think he's dead now. You know the big baldy centre half. Did he die?
James Dean.
He was striker.
He played centre half.
I think
he died. So he played against them up there, and again like fucking freezing cold up there, and started enjoying it a little bit. Playing at some good player away at Telford. I mean, we're getting smashed most of the games because
there's some good grounds though.
We said last week about Telford.
Telford, lovely
ground.
Really good there. And then we played Salford at home, and obviously it written us off if Salford beat us and whatever, because it was between them and Kidderminster ago. And we drew one each with Salford, and it was on that fucking podcast. And Robbo actually got a guy sent off that game, to be fair, and then we played there. It was good. We played against. So Bowles came into the changing room, and he's like, right, they're playing against this fucking. He's called Carl Pergiani. He's like Triple H, right? Fucking, he was like Triple H. Get it, big long head like that. It's fucking solid.
He's at Stevenage now, isn't he?
Is he? Is that what he is?
Yeah.
And he was like, he's an actual unit, right? And I thought, fucking hell, I don't want to fucking wet. I'm not going to do it here, so I thought, first thing I'm doing is just rattling him. Okay. If I get sent off, at least it's worth it. So I've gone up for the header and I've fucking boom, throat jabbed him like that, like right in the throat there, right in the jugular. And he just went, oh, not like that. Honest to God, after that, never came near me.
Didn't it?
No, never came near me. And like, bounced me about that. Like movement, he was better than me. And he had a big boy, black boy, played like centre mid, and he was class as well. But yeah, I thought first thing I'm fucking doing him here. And it was like actual Jackie Chandler. And it was. And
there you go.
He never came near me. To be fair, no, like headers and that. He was one of them ones. And I thought, I've got him here. And then obviously after they ended up winning the league and that, didn't they? But yeah, that was kind of memorable. And then we played Brackley away. Had to leave at like 3:30, and gets to the ground at Brackley, and fucking looks on him, called the game off. It was absolutely hammering it down.
No.
They called the game off. So we get out of the bus and we're like, we're fucking here. You can't call the game off. So then this boy pumping water off and that, and they got it on. They beat us 3-0 or something. But that was the game where my knee just wouldn't. It wouldn't do much. Yeah. And it literally looked like an old man. So Robbo knew this Mr. Edwards or whatever his name was, like a knee surgeon, a knee specialist guy. So I went to my like doctor and I've requested to go to a specialist. So I've gone in, usually sit on your knee moving. Yeah. So the guy said like some specialist in Hull, oh yeah, you've got arthritis. Right, I got arthritis, man. I'm like 29. And he's like, no, you've got arthritis. And I was like, you can take these tablets. And I said, I ain't taking tablets, but I don't like taking tablets. I don't like. And he said, well, and I said, have you got any cream or anything that I can take? Because I hate taking tablets. So he gave me like that fibrogel, whatever it is. Rubbing that on for days. And then I ended up getting, so Robbo got me fast tracked to see this. And he's like, what's for private spy or whatever. So I goes and sees him. He does the same thing. Sits on your, they sit on your toes and the movement and that. Because you've done your ACL. So he said, I'll get you a fucking fast track for an MRI. He said, but obviously it's like $5,000 if I do it. I said, I know you've got a young family and stuff. He said, so I can do it through NHS, but I'll do it for you. So I was like, fucking hell, buzzing, because it was a fortune in it. So I get the MRI back, goes in, sees him, sits down, and he went, I don't know how you've done it. And I was like, what? And he's like, you've fractured your kneecap right across the middle, you've done your ACL, your LCL, your MCL, your piriform and meniscus. See that? It's a minor. I don't know how you managed that.
How long have you been playing with this for?
About 8 months. I had the operation, came up talking about Scooby-Doo films or something like that. Gets a phone call from Cut, and Curtis is still a manager at Bridlington and stuff, and he said, listen, I know what it's like being there, done it. He said, you need to be involved, so once you get yourself there, come and join the coaching staff. Just to keep yourself going. He said, because you're obviously so I ended up joining there, and once I could properly actually walk in that, went to doing that, and then it ended up cut us about, I think it was actually Affersley. We played Affersley and they beat us 2-0 to be fair, and I think Curtis was just kind of more focused on his opening up his boxing gym. He was just doing a boxing gym, and he had a couple other things spinning and stuff like that. So I think he was honest with Pete, and he just said, listen, I've got too much on at the moment. So they'd done it, and Pete had phoned me. I was sitting in the house to be fair, and Pete phoned me and just said, listen, would you mind you and Anthony Bowsley? Because Bowsley was assistant for Curtis anyway. So he just said, do you fancy taking on to we find a new manager? And I said, yeah, of course.
You
didn't think they were ringing you to ask their young were asking you to see if you come back and play at Humber League?
Yeah, that's it. Be fine.
He's been on it, that. We might not go for job in 11.
No. To be fair, I think him and Brendan actually fell out. Pete and Brendan fell out for a bit for that, because he was like, you were supposed to leave him for me. But yeah, and obviously...
So they've offered you and Bowles a job. Was it a 1 and a 2, or were it 2 1s, or...?
It's probably me, because both said that, said I'm more a coach and then a manager.
Were you happy with that?
Yeah,
yes. No.
like I say, I don't mind. I don't mind it.
What, you're there 30?
Yeah, just on 30, yeah.
Still came into first team talk, captain's on like jacket.
Because it was funny, to be fair, to tell us a funny story actually, because that season, Curtis, he's funny to be fair. You just never knew we were going to get with him, but he came in, right, we were playing shit, and he came in and I think it was Will Wardbear. I think it was Will, yeah. And
were you coaching?
Yeah, so he came in and he was just like that. He went, at half time, he went, "You're fucking killing my eyes watching you. Get your fucking stuff and fuck off out of my dressing room. I'm sick fed up watching you, you fucking shit," and that. And just literally told the kid to get his stuff and fuck off at half time. So I'm just like,
yeah.
And he just like that, just off the cuff stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, it's fucking no right, but it was, everybody's just like that.
Oh dear. And transition, how did you find that? Sometimes when you've been one at lads and like been a focal point at banter and in games where you win out warming up with lads and you're skipper and you have to take a little bit out of that, don't you, when you're in charge. You have to move away a little bit from group, you know, not, it depends what type of mentality you are. No, yeah. You just have to move away because it has to be a bit more professional, doesn't it? Like, they have to understand that there's that boundary then, like, you're in charge and it's up to you, it's your decision.
It's tough. Yeah. And to be fair,
you were relatively young, weren't you, as well,
yeah,
weren't it? So.
Yeah, like I say, 29 going on 30. And to be fair, it's tough for me, it's tough for them as well.
Yeah.
They're still, they've played for you, I've played with you for that day.
Yeah.
And you can understand that, where they kind of cross the line sometimes. And then, do you try and nip in the bud?
Because of your injury situation, possibly made it easier. Do you think in back of your mind, you're thinking, well, I've done anyway, so it's just the next progression?
Yeah. 1,000,000%, yeah.
You know, like, I'm walking away from playing now.
You take it on thinking that?
In all honesty,
I'm not a player manager, I'm a manager.
Yeah, in all honesty, when it happened, I just thought, well, that's obviously a sign, isn't it? Yeah. The injury thing at this time, the extent of the injury, being asked to come and cut, there's obviously things happen for a reason, and I'm massive factor in that.
It went alright for you though, Paul, didn't it, because you got promoted?
The very first game was a baptism of fire. Fucking played concert, the favourites for the FA Vaz, fucking battling everybody, and we beat them at our ground, very first game, and then I won 5 games in a row, and Pete phoned me up and gave me the job, and then that night we played Pennis and they beat us 5-1. Just fucking, it's your fault, my career's like that, right? But it was.
I spot that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Probably. I think
he only asks when he knows he did.
I think years ago, I think Nathan Kelly got a free, I think. Yeah, so and then I was like, fucking hell, and the fans are like, you think it's the right thing? And then, to be fair, that month, absolutely battered it, got manager of the month, and then I lost the next game.
Yeah,
got manager of the month, and then lost the next one, so it was kind of that fucking, every time something good happened, it was like, right, draw you back in, kind of thing. And to be fair, I loved it. Me and Bowes had a really good relationship, loved it. And then through, I think the course of that season, I think we brought Lamps on as well, because we needed that 3, because Bowes was starting to, I think he was getting a job in the police.
Okay.
So it's a bit part, you need somebody there, don't you? Yeah, you need your assistants there, don't you? Or coaches or whatever.
You do.
But every time I've had a manager's job and every time I've been a manager, I've never ever, I might be manager name, but I'm not any different to anybody else.
No.
I don't think me, Lamps, Bowes, Benbow, whoever's been an assistant Swanee, I've always said, even Tom, Tomo used when he came on as coach, there it is, go and do your coaching. You know, if you want to be a coach, then coach. If I need to step in, I've got an idea, then I'll do it. But
it's about knowing everybody's strengths and weaknesses.
Of course it is. Same like that. Juggy was a coach and I'm my manager,
That's it, innit? Just go and flourish, and then obviously Bowes left because of the kind of thing, but we got promoted before that. Then we got promoted, and I kind of, it was a weird one because it was COVID season.
Yeah.
The season before that, we were flying second, weren't we, with games in hand over people, Liversedge and Yorkshire Amateurs and that. We were absolutely flying. You boys were just behind us as well. A good season and all. And then it got.
I think we played less games as well.
Yeah.
Well, then were you thinking, well, if you had a few more games on to ours, we'd probably
Kind of got
two.
tails in it.
Yeah,
it got short, didn't it, for the COVID one. And the actual full COVID thing was awkward, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was weird, but because we'd done well, and to be honest with you, it's a hard thing because for me, I like to win, I like to do things and merit.
Yeah.
I took it, but I think it was me pushing it.
Yeah.
And I just said to him, you're going to, at one point in time, you're going to have to suck it up and do it.
Yeah, you can't just keep.
So then if you're ambitious and we only start a season because we want to be the best we can be, don't we?
Yeah.
And if that means winning league and having an opportunity at that level, you've got to take it,
100%.
yeah. Even if your budget stays the same. You know what I mean? Even if your budget stays the same, you have to go at it.
Even going back to what Grimes was saying when they went up with Winterton, success has been finishing third bottom the next season.
Yeah.
I mean, they dropped out there like that.
They've always decided before the season we're coming out of it anyway. What I was done last 9 months for.
Yeah.
Yes. And the difficult part, and obviously I spoke to yourself and I spoke to Ian Richards and stuff like that, and Reggie and that, we speak quite a lot. It's such a hard catchment area, Bridlington.
Yeah.
Fucking next step's fucking North Sea, innit? And nobody wants to drive 2 hours from here to there for.
It's probably even worse now, isn't it? Now Cleethorpes have gone, Grimsby are there.
Yeah.
Scarborough are back where they are, Ferriby. You've not got a million miles away. It's tough to attract the best, isn't it?
Yes, even I think your Lincoln Uniteds have got a big draw as well. That way slightly. Then your Geordie League.
And there might be, would there have been at that time when you went back up into that Evo state, were it South, Division 1, whatever it is?
Yeah.
Do you reckon there have been clubs in and around you that have been potentially paid more than Britain?
100%. If we're going to go at it, we need to go at it. And I wanted a £2,000 budget after tax, and we couldn't agree on that. So we ended up with a £1,400 budget after tax. I ended up at some point in that season with £900 budget because just the players, players we were getting, and the wage was coming to that, and you're like, mental, how was that? But then we were getting battered. But I put that down to me, to be honest, because I thought because we've done well, we've got promoted playing that style of football. First 7 games in that Northern Counties, I was thinking, this is the style I want to play, and I need to do this and this. And a lot of that was down to me. And the first 7 games we got fucking battered, like playing Mask, and they were just 7-0. Liversedge, 6'9", players everywhere. Yeah. Big lads, obviously walking up from good lad. Remo, might bite my nose off. And we had Billy, I forget his name. Big lads, so he used to play for Pickering and stuff like that.
Play up top.
Yeah. Blonde hair.
Yeah.
It's Taylor, but it's not Taylor, is it?
Right on my head, to be fair.
I don't know with that now.
But
I remember playing against Procure.
And he started the season and he played really, really well, and then I don't know, he just went off the boil. I know, it's done my head, I don't know, to be fair. And then he just went off the boil a little bit, and I started seeing players trying to.
He used to play up front with Ryan Blott at Pickering.
That's right, and it kind of got to that stage where I was just like, fucking hell, man, nobody's like, want to play for us, can I? So I ended up just putting the boots on myself. Because I started my rehab and that, I was doing my fitness and stuff, and I was like I say, I don't really put much on, so I thought, fuck it, if it means staying up, then I'll give it a go. So then there's another avenue, if I can play a manager, it was so tough. You get punched from all angles. You're getting punched from all angles.
It's one that comes up every time when lads are about that transition.
Weighing scales are never level, are they?
No.
You try to dig someone out and you're thinking, I've got a fucking stink.
Yeah. Just missed 2 setters in a row and I'm saying, let's go.
Okay,
No,
ball.
and it is, it's so, but you feel the need as a manager, you have to say something.
Of course you do.
It's like you need to see, you have to say them, but
it's a really tough situation to be in.
But don't get me wrong.
I also think as well, if you're a manager or a player manager and you say, right, I'm not going to say anything after, I'm going to put it on assistant to do it.
Everybody goes, you weak bastard.
You weak bastard, but also then he's never going to dig you either.
Yeah.
Sort of scenario. And
you've got to do it. You've got to do it. You just got to grow a pair of spuds at you and go. You know, take my performance out of it. I'm still manager at fucking football club, don't you?
Yeah.
But it is tough.
It's tough, and it is. And don't get me wrong. Listen, in that moment in time, it was the best thing that happened at Brid at the time, because I just fucking had that hunger again.
Yeah.
And I think I scored about fucking 12 goals in 5 games or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I went out fucking Christmas night out, played, and went out fucking 6 in the morning or something. Got in, played Pickering, scored a hat trick. Fucking next one went to Dunstan, scored 2. We started picking up. I think we went something like.
Well, you'll let your assistants deal with a lot of it.
Yeah, I just let them. And I just played it because when I do it, I'll be the player.
Yeah.
You just do the managing. I don't like.
And were you comfortable with that as well?
Yeah. At the times, I thought you just have to go on with it.
Yeah.
We need points.
Otherwise,
we're fucking relegated just for Christmas.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to that similar thing we're saying about a captain in it up top. As a player manager up top as well, same thing. If you know you're playing yourself for a reason to score goals, drag us out of shit, you can't really be concentrating on everybody's performance, thinking, right, I'm going to have to take him after an hour. And
it's hard because you like you say, you're spending that many plates.
Balance.
But we ended up winning 7 games in a row, or undefeated, in 7 games in a row, and fucking got ourselves kind of pretty stable. And then we played Cleethorpes at New Year's Day, and they beat us 1-0, I think it was. And then we won another 2 games after that, and then we just fucking, I stopped playing for it because it just body was couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Too much. And we just crumbled. And like fucking last game of the season, it was between us and Sheffield FC and who else was down there? I can't remember who else was down there. There was a few teams. And then it was like fucking basically shit stick, you know what I mean? And it was Dunstan. We were playing at home, and it was 2 each, but it was 2-1 to us, and they just scored 2 each, and then somebody else had scored, I can't remember what it was, the best, effectively we were relegated. There was 4 minutes left. He gets a penalty, fucking, next thing you know, the referees ran over to the linesman, the linesman was like, nah, not a penalty. He's overturned it. So fucking me and Lamps, I think he said to the linesman he's going to kill him or whatever, fucking madness, you know, it's like, and we couldn't believe it. So it got overturned, so the ball comes in, Andy Norfolk can jumps on there, dives, and the referee gives a penalty. It was never a penalty.
Well, the first one a pen.
First one Stonewall, second one was never a pen. And fucking Lewis Dennison steps up, like last minute, last kick of the game, he scores this, we're
safe.
Stayed up, yeah. Fucking boom, top bin. Couldn't put it any more in the top bin as you were, and just it was, and I feel that's
better achievement than your promotion.
100%. Because what we were given, everything that was thrown at us, what contained, and for the club as well, it was the best. I feel it was better than the promotion, to be honest. And I took a wee bit more sense of pride than that, because obviously I played a part in it as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So again, that was that, and then like I say, it just kind of felt the right time
to move on.
Yeah.
And you went to Allen then?
No, went to Tadcaster.
Went to Tadcaster. John Deasy at Tadcaster. Yeah.
As a player.
Yeah.
As a player, yeah. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to
give it a go.
I'm going to give it a go.
So young.
Yeah, give it a go and then go in there. So obviously Pete Davidson was a good mate of mine. We went there, Matty Dicko and myself, so Pete's good mates with
Yeah,
John.
yeah,
So John DC phones up, how you doing, Brett? And all that, and fucking get salesman the dream. We're getting these lads in, we're getting this boy from Farsley, Adam Clayton, and all that, we're getting this, we're getting that. You want to England? I thought, fucking hell. He said, we're going to give it a good go, and I thought,
good club.
yeah.
Good club.
Yeah.
I thought, fucking hell, yeah. And then obviously, when the river overflows, now I can take my fucking flippers down there, and I'll be the best player in the park, won't I?
Okay,
So,
That's not
yeah. And I kind of, he sold it to me, and he was like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and would help us out and stuff like that. So I thought, yeah, it was not bad. Not bad money.
It just fit where you were as well, didn't it? Like in terms of probably location.
Just well, it's a bit of a shit drive for us.
Is it?
Yes, it's that shit York road from Hull, but it was 3 years.
Yeah.
There's a castle.
And we used to meet and go in. Me and Pete, and obviously, he was living around the corner for me and stuff. And we were good mates. We'd drink good laugh at Bridlington and that. So we went there, first training session. Fucking not one of them players he said was there. And I went, I've been done. Fucking been
Could have done Wick River overflowing then.
Oh yeah, I've been done big time. Obviously get a job, put my name for a job or whatever, and maybe help Monkey out. If Monkey gets a job, can be assistant, blah blah blah. And then I think 2 days later I get a message from Dents.
Hallam,
yeah, at Hallam. Obviously, kind of found respect from him for his playing against managing and stuff like that. He done brilliant at clubs he's been at. So I went to the fucking sat nav and I went, wow.
Just put another 50 on it.
So it was tough. Don't get me wrong.
It were a fucking tester for me and all that hill, weren't it?
Oh. Downhill, I felt 19 again. Uphill, I felt 59 again. It was mad, it's fucking tough, like. But
I thought you were in that clutch control.
But it was.
You loved it though, didn't you, Alan?
If it wasn't for Brig coming along, best club I've ever been at.
Yeah.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. It was unbelievable. Loved it.
Just trying on that Crespert wave that they're on now.
Yeah. I'd have loved to have been there.
Nah.
I'd have loved to have been there 5-6 years earlier when and I was probably at my best when I came down. You know, see if I was there from when I was 25, and it had the crowds it's got now. I'd have loved it. But it obviously it was hard because I drove cars for 11 at the time, delivering. So I was delivering sometimes Cornwall, coming back for training, London, going to games, Scotland, coming back. It was all over. So it was tough in the back as well. You know what I mean? And
driving over on your own as well. Nobody else involved.
There would not been someone car school in there, would there?
Nobody would want to sit and listen to my shit for hours, would they? They've been fucking right then. So I went to sessions. He's fucking doing mad. But no, it was obviously because half the time I was literally coming from there and going.
You did well to do your 9 months there. I mean, I've spoke to a few. I said to you earlier, I've spoke to a few Hallam fans. I know quite a few Hallam fans that were very applauding your time there. So I think feelings mutual about you enjoying your time there. The supporters certainly enjoyed you having there. So, but to do 9 months there, obviously with your telling job and your driving and that, it's a good stint, that, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I'm sure it maybe even shorter to be fair, but I've never. It's weird because. Like I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but it's every club I've been to, whether it's been for 6 months or 10 years, people have always like treated me like I've been a fucking legend there. But I think that's just because you play with everything. And you give everything and
absolutely.
You're looking at player.
And personality as well. I mean, you just quite openly said earlier on when we talked, you said that it weren't about self-praising. It weren't about awards that you got. It were about being respected probably by your teammates, by supporters, by the committee who we were serving. So you were in it for everything really, not just for yourself.
Because even like when you talk about awards, like you know all the ones that I've won. I won all these kind of ones of trophies and stuff like that. What they do? You sit there. So I ended up peeling all the little plaques off. And I gave them to a Bridlington young team, and get them to put plaques on it so that they can save money. It wasn't going to do me, end of the day. I fucking I won them.
You know what you've done.
Yeah, and that's what I done. We loads of
They're only
mine.
collecting dust.
Big trophy like that for whatever player you just take the thing off and stick it out. Some young lads, it saves them money, doesn't it?
You were saying like if it wouldn't have been for Brig coming in, you'd have probably still stayed at Allen.
Well, how what we have? Like I say, absolutely love my time. Dents and that were
Was it fun really?
So we had it first. There was me and Scott Rutherford.
Scott Rutherford, yeah.
And then Ollie Fearon.
Yeah.
Who else? And then I think Iron that came on at the back end, but it was me and Scott mostly.
Yeah.
First, and we had a good relationship. Obviously, Brandon behind us and stuff, and Rick Patterson and that was brilliant.
Was Dan Pat there? And
no, Dan wasn't there.
He'd moved on.
He'd moved on. Banks and stuff like that were there. So another one had some cracking things with Banks. I think I broke Banks' nose about 4 times. There was a game. I'll never forget it. We played, and I think it was Bridlington versus Watsaw.
Yeah.
Banks is so not even 2 minutes in, I fucking boom, like absolutely twisted his nose. He was like, you fucking, as he is,
yes.
Obviously over the side, gets it sorted, comes back on. Next one, he's absolutely leathered me. Big massive egg in the back of my head. And he went, 1 each, fucking Scottish gun or whatever. And I don't even know what I said to him, I said, I don't even know what you are, Polish, German. So, winding each other up, like me and you, having a go. So I thought, I'll fucking win this one, we'll see. So next one, I'm absolutely leathered again. And I think I actually fractured his cheekbone or something like that. He was saying, and his eye was away down there, his nose was up there, and after the game, go fucking good battle, blah blah blah. And we had some good. So when
joined there,
so when I joined Arm and that, had some proper stories and stuff like that. But he's class.
Did he always want to be on your team then in 5-a-side?
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Yeah, flashbacks for him. But no, we had some really good, like say, battles and stuff like that, and then just good. I enjoyed it. Like everybody. Genuinely really nice, obviously coming in McPhee and stuff like that, they were just genuine and had some brilliant games, scored some vital goals for Harlem and stuff like that. Like you say, the hill takes its toll on you after you've been driving for 14 hours or whatever. And I was honest with him, I didn't want to leave really, but my back was just too much. And don't get me wrong, listen, Dennis looked after me there and he probably gave me more money than he should have at the time, but he looked after me, and I was just too honest. I just said, listen, I'm not playing to my potential, and I'm taking somebody else's shot here, and it's not fair. And so I left, and I came home and stuff like that, and I think it was about 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from Barton, John Barton, and it was right on my doorstep and stuff like that. Do you know what, I genuinely didn't really want to go, to be honest. I just thought it was a wee bit extra cash for the kids and whatever. And I went and I was fucking shit. Absolute crap. I played about 10 games and I was fucking dog shit. I think I scored a goal, to be honest.
Is that the first time you've ever thought, my heart's not in it properly?
Yeah.
I know you've mentioned it earlier where you sort of had that.
Well, there's still a bit of injury, or just you weren't
I just, in my back of my head, I was like, it's time to retire.
I think you've had a taste of management, haven't you? You've gone to Ireland and really enjoyed it, but the distance, and then you just think, what's next?
Yeah.
You're sort of thinking in your mind, if a job comes up, I'll take that.
Yeah, well, I did say that.
It's not just an injury either, is it?
No, it's massive.
I did say that.
It's a 4 or 5 in 1, innit?
Because obviously Dents was clear right at the start. I said, if there is a job come up, I will be actively trying to go for it, like.
Including yours.
Yeah. If it comes up.
If that's in budget.
So, but we had that good relationship, and we were honest, and he was honest, and I was honest at the end, and I just said, listen lads, I'm not wanting to be here just to take a check. And my last paycheck, my actual last thing we gave us, I said to keep it and get it to the lads for the night out. And that was 500 quid. So
they went to my golf on it.
Obviously didn't score in that game.
But and that's the kind of person I am. A lot of people get a totally different perception of me because on the pitch I was the devil for 90 minutes, but then I'm off it.
It's usually them in Blackwood, don't like it, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately they do. But when you play the way the way I play, I'm a header and a tackle. If it's ending off all the time, header obviously obviously in a tackle because sometimes
5-6 minutes late.
Yeah. And that's a way of play. That's a way of play.
I was saying.
So yeah. Then I retired after that. To be fair, a big part of it was Jags, Joe Jag.
Yeah.
Again, when we played Emily and he broke his leg in that game, and I just thought it was bad, and I fucking felt sorry for the kid, and I just thought.
Are you thinking kids?
Yeah.
That's me.
100%. Yeah, and that was a big part of it, and I just thought, it's time. Just do it. So
what a nice lad he is, by the way.
Yeah, lovely kid, really nice kid. And I just after seeing that, I just done that. That's it, and it's done and dusted. So retired, and obviously people are like, oh yeah, you blah blah, you won't retire for long and this and stuff. So I done that, and then I went and helped my mate Ricky Spencer out. It was the local team called St Mary's in the Humber Premier League, and they needed like 7 games to stay up or something like that. They needed, I don't know, whatever it was, 19 points or something like that to stay up, and we ended up. I helped him out, and I think we won 6 out of 7 and stayed up and stuff like that. So he was buzzing, but I needed to get I needed to get a job.
Yeah.
I needed to get a job. I applied for a couple of jobs and stuff like that, and then I ended up. So before I applied for the brig job when I was at Hallam, and then Nath Pete and Bowes got it, and I spoke to Gav Duncan who was there, and he's had a real good chat with us, and he phoned me. I was on the way down to get a car on a train, and he phoned me, and we were on the phone for about 2 hours, and he was just talking about blah blah blah. No, you know about the job. He never told me anything until the last 20 minutes, I think. Just talk away as you do, and then that was that, and then fast forward when Bowes and FP got released or sacked or whatever it was, and then I get a phone call from Gavin, and he says, listen, you left quite a good lasting memory on me and stuff like that, and I spoke to Jimmy and come down, and I went for the interview, and we got the job at Brig, and Jimmy's what a legend there, such a nice guy, doing and for he's helped me off personally for a tough couple of years obviously. But then hit the ground running, obviously brought Lamps in with me. Swanee, you know Swanee? He's crap, he's brilliant. But I needed someone.
Grimsby for a bit, Swanee.
Grimsby got him and Danny Barrett there, but mates in there, so they were there for years, but I needed somebody that knew that area, because I don't know Lincolnshire area, so I needed that kind of connection, and came in, and to be honest, he was going through a divorce, and I was going through a divorce at the same time, so it was a car crash. It was a car crash, right, the first couple of weeks.
It's a lot of tenants in it then.
It was chaos, like, for the first, me and him just out.
Good for each other.
And brilliant, we helped each other through it at the time, and then at the time I met a new Mrs. Sophie, and she screwed me right up, to be fair. So she plays for the ladies team at Brig.
Right.
So she's a social media at Brig. You've probably seen Sophie. So we ended up, I've split with my ex at the time and that, and then me and Sophie started going together, and she screwed me right up, and then I got caught drink driving, didn't I? So, because it was me,
banned?
It was me, I got banned for 11 months. But it was me, like, after, you know yourself, after carnage, and then I ended up, to be fair, I done the right thing and pulled over and fell and went to sleep, but I still got caught, so. So that was it. I stopped drinking, and that squared me right up. I mean, walking home for Asda with 2 bags and pissing rain, don't fucking break, don't break. You know what I mean?
I wish we got them 60 pence bags.
I was like, I should have got them tins of beans to walk, you know. So it was a nightmare.
These never been
No, because I was up there, so that's why.
3 packs of 4 beans for £5, and he just couldn't walk past it. I need them beans.
I was thinking of phoning DC and asking for his bag. Getting back. So it was like an eye opener, and it was so just. But
so actually, in a roundabout way, mate, apart from drink driving, it's been fucking productive, hasn't it? For
but mate, it's been even the drink driving, mate. Even the drink driving is the best thing that's ever happened to me, because I was doing it too much, which you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? I was just driving mad. I was driving hours, like even my work when I wasn't drinking. I was just driving crazy hours because I was just put up and that, walking away for the kids and that. It was tough. One of the hardest things. But, and then obviously meeting Sophie as well, which was a catalyst for me to go forward. You know what I mean? So it was melting in, like I say, Jimmy, and that helped me through all that massively, and but it flew in. 11 months flew in, and obviously Lamps, who I worked for, helped me and gave me a valeting job and that, and until I could get going, and then now on the sales. So weird, like I said earlier on, things happen for a reason. If weird how it all comes about, and then
one step back, 3 forward.
Yeah. But in terms of the
job.
Threw in at the deep end. I had like 4 players from the previous season because they all went to Beverley, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it was hard to try and get there. So we brought some lads on that weren't good enough. Don't get me wrong, we started well.
Is it your second season this year? First.
Second. Yeah. So the first game of the season, so we started our pre-season and that, doing well. I think we beat Scunthorpe or drew Scunthorpe or whatever it was, and then beat Bottisford, local team, win to blah blah blah. So first game of the season come around right for the SC, wasn't it? Came Thursday night, get some issues from a couple of lads. Can't make weekend, and I went first game of the season. I'm like, oh yeah, we booked a holiday Ibiza 4 days. 4 of my players gone. Bang, 2-0 up within 8 minutes. I was like, I'll get that stripped down there, lovely, you know. And 5 minutes left, 2 each, wasn't it? They came back in 2 each. Yeah, so I was like, geez, the fucking boom, bangs a strip on, fucking ball out there, run straight on, ball out, fucking whipped in, scores a winner last minute, didn't it? So obviously that gets you the buzz going. Fans, so it's written in the stars on it. Kind of fans go and everybody's on your side, like blah blah blah. So we done all right. Again, pretty much similar to this season. Done all right.
Best striker in the league this year.
Who do I think?
No, you.
Me.
Have you got him?
Fuck it. Batty.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah. Him and Flinny, they're both. But
reckon?
I think because we're against us. Because we're fighting there.
Because they trounced us. At all. It's strange because we played them 3 times in league.
Yeah.
So we got abandoned at half time because of weather.
Yeah.
And he was good on day, that one, and then we would beat you away. I don't think he had a kick, did he?
Don't think, no.
First
don't
half,
think so,
yeah.
No.
Good play for that level, isn't he?
Batty's good, yeah, he's a very good player, like technical wise. I think obviously Ash was good because was good.
Ash was like, I wouldn't say Ash was surprised me, but he's just scores, doesn't he?
Yeah. Ash, his movement,
Yeah.
blocks. And it's no disrespect to any defender at league, but they're not used to that movement.
No.
It's a little.
Taking you then, this Brett, in terms of Brig, what your aspirations? See where it takes you this year.
Well,
have another look at it next year, or happy where you are, or comfortable?
I love it there. Like I said, I want Lee Brig unless I'm told to go.
Yeah.
A big transition though for club as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's because obviously new the 3G pitch and stuff.
Yeah.
The 3G pitch and things like that. But again, I always fucking take on too much sometimes. Because if Sophie plays for the women's team, I ended up helping them out and all. And then I've got
what, playing up top?
Yeah. That's what
he drove past and I thought, she's tasty.
So it's again another aspect in it. And
beyond balls, just
and then I've got my little lad Dexter on the 10 coaches team as well. So it's fucking too much, mate. It's like sometimes it's hard, isn't it? Because you're going from men's to like free totally.
And then there's lads trying to get your own podcast and
it's tough, isn't it? So again, like I say, my ambitions are all. I always set too much targets because I think if you set them high, you can only go below them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But last season, it was a transition one. It was a big transition one. Finished 8th or something like that, which was a position better than the year before.
Yeah.
which again is a bit of progression, but in my eyes, because I'm a type of person I'm like shit. This season we should be well away. We should have been chasing the title. I think, in all honesty, from where we started, from where we were and how we went and we started, we should be. So, but if you only win 2 games out of 11 in the promotion bit at the light end, you don't deserve to go up, in my opinion.
No.
And I'm an honest person, all honesty as well. And that falls on me, on the manager at the end of the day. Whether it doesn't matter, players, whatever it is, it's me. It's my fault because I'm the manager at the end of the day, and I'm there to be shot at, and whatever happens and whatever. But it might be taken out of my hands anyway. Let's just say, because there's a FA thing going on just now. So I'm at this moment in time, currently moment in time, I'm banned from all football for 116 days. For kicking the ball on the pitch, and then the referee said I kicked it at him, but of kicking the ball on the pitch out of frustration at a player being sent off against Wakefield, which I served the ban. I served 3 games, touchline suspension, bang. So then what happened is I got sent off at the ladies football wrongly, and I've just won the appeal on Monday night there, and the referee was talking absolute shite, like everybody it was a lie, and I've been proven not guilty on Monday night. So first time I've ever seen anybody beat a ref on one of them things. So obviously I think they're all intertwined and whatever. But
is it definitive that, or is it subject to?
It's subject. I still have to go up for the hearing for the men's one. But listen, it's at this moment in time, I'm suspended from everything, banned Sindai completely from all football. Can't even coach my lad. No, you don't have to stand and watch him and that. So it's been, and that's no excuses, but it's been a bit of an impact on the lads as well. Because they've not got the manager at the side. To be fair, I played in that Arsenal game, scored and you know what I mean. So it's been tough. And listen,
it's strange because we had a chat about it at Woodsbrook the week, me and I said, "Oh, big man's played himself here in the squad." Then he's not played, and we were like, "I wonder why."
Yeah.
And
a lot of people don't.
Go from scoring to not being in his squad, and then not for obvious reasons. That's why you're not in his
squad.
squad.
To be honest with you, I think in the last, especially in the last 3 or 4 games, I think if I'd played, we would have probably done a little bit better. But listen, that's by the by. But the lads have been brilliant for us. I can't. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes you blow up. Sometimes you go through the bad spells at the wrong time. But as a group and as lads and as a group, outstanding. Class. Some of the teams.
There's also some good teams in that league.
Yeah, there is.
If you look at the teams above, Aubrey good, Wakefield are strong. Obviously, should be strong because of what they're paying. Woolwell similar.
Yeah.
Ilkley a very, very good football
side.
Play on the 4G, 3G, whatever it is.
Don't do yourselves any justice.
We've done well.
You've been outstanding, to be fair. You've went on a fantastic run in
but there's also
your
Selby's and Maltby's on the day. You can turn anybody over in that league.
Well,
especially at home.
It's just one of them, innit? Listen, again, what's meant to be is meant to be. Depending on how big the ban is, it might be a case I have to step down because you need a manager, don't you? You can't have a fucking manager. Because I'm allowed to be in the ground as a spectator. I'm not allowed to have any match day. I'm not allowed to speak to him on the bench. I'm not allowed to be in the dressing room. I'm not allowed to shout on it at players. So it's tough, isn't it? Obviously, especially some fucking big loudmouth fucking idiot like me.
Well, it's not a great place to end for you, but if we will wish you all the best, mate.
It's definitely not going to be ended, Brett, is it?
No, definitely not. No. Listen, at the end of the day, what will be. And I think no matter what happens, I think you can't let them win. I'll be fighting no matter what. So again, but Briggs a fantastic club, and we'll be in. I've had some brilliant times. After Harlem, it's the best club I've been at in Cuckoo. Like it's mad. It's brilliant. Honest to God,
you should say.
It's such a good club. They're just so. family orientated.
I just don't, when they put the new pitch out, that the away dugout is not positioned at the side of that door that comes out from below it.
Yeah.
Because you get dogs.
You do, but
yeah, and it's all part and parcel of it.
Yeah, and listen, throughout the season they have went a bit too far, but I've reined them in, I've shouted at them, and I'm the first person.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, it's
yeah. We've all been guilty of that.
To be fair, it's all part.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you coming on.
Brett, thank you very much. Cheers, pal.
No worries, boys.